Hello, everyone. I'm on it just a few minutes early because I got it. Hey, Samantha. So, hey, everyone. Welcome. I'm testing out this new mic setup because I am unsure if you're going to be able to hear the fly buzzing in my room. I thought these were supposed to be great, but I am now unsure. So, and if anyone sees Aaron Shedlock, you know to holler at me because sometimes I can't see the chat. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. What's everyone doing? Hey, Valentina. I'm on just a few minutes early. I'm checking out. Hey, Kathy. This mic. I was hoping some sound suppression software might kick in. Maybe it will when someone else joins. But I think this is going to be a return. Because, hey guys, Cheyenne's, you're watching me? I'm watching a little text right there. All right. Hello, Simply Sunny. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Sam. All right, we're right at 8 o'clock. We're doing all right. Hey, Tara, how are you doing? I didn't expect you to see you here. I know you're super busy all the time. Yay. And you guys let me know what you think of this mic. And like if you can hear a fly buzzing in the other room, let me know. And I'll just change it real quick. But I really think it's kind of cute. And it's like white and it matches my decor. And it's got this little puffy thing on it. I don't know what it's called. I figured we needed more Tiffany's. And then I also have this light that's on a yellow setting. I don't know. Hello, Tattooed Raven Reader. How are you doing tonight? Hi, I'm Jean. It's Jennifer. I always say I'm a Jean. It's not I'm a Jean, it's Jennifer. Yeah, you are, Kim. You know you made it in the social world when you have two different devices in two different places. Hey, Shanlin. Hi. All right. So, let me see if I can find. He's here. He is here. Okay, I'm going to invite Aaron up here. And I'm getting no feedback on my mic, so. Hey, Aaron. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect, I can hear you. I'm going to change the screen.
There we go.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Okay, doing good. I'm going to get on here. I'm going to figure out if I remember how to make the thingy two people.
Okay.
That's two. I'm kind of old. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we don't want that. I do not like to be the biggest one, Aaron. You know what I'm saying? I like to be the smallest one.
I feel your pain.
Yes. Yes. Let's see here. I think I do this. No. Okay. Switch to panel. Sure, I don't know what that means. Okay, we don't want that either. Now I'm really big and you're really not. So let's go back again. You guys are probably just all laughing at me right now.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's what we're here for.
I got to get the camera right.
As long as it's entertaining.
Grid. Oh, you know what? Cancel. Let's do fixed panel. Still no. Sorry. I mean, people are just probably at home laughing at me doing this because they know I call myself a boomer, Aaron. Do you ever call yourself a boomer?
No way, man. I'm a Gen Xer.
Okay. So
I'm a punk rocker, a rebellious little mother.
So technically, I'm a Gen Xer. But when I got on this social world, I was so far behind, I called myself a boomer.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Some of the Gen Xers just didn't really get into like cell phones and stuff.
Well, I mean, for me, my first friend had a cell phone when they were 18 years old. That was the first person to get a cell phone. And then I sent my first email as a freshman in college. You know?
Like my wife.
Yeah. So it's just there's a an age. Even I would tell people that are like 3 or 4 years younger than me, you still had 4 years of technology thrown at you that I did not have at a very important time in our lives. So anyways. Okay, so are you in a good place? You got good internet? You ready?
Oh yeah. Let's rock and roll.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I just want to first welcome everyone to the first PS with Precious. This is my first one-on-one interview I've done since starting live, so I'm very excited, and I'm very thankful that you were my first guest, Aaron, so thank you for saying yes. If you're a fan of rich storytelling, unforgettable characters, and a voice that can take you on a wild ride, you're in the right place. Because our guest is Aaron Shedlock, a passionate, award-winning voice actor with over 600 audiobooks to his name across romance, fantasy, sci-fi, and beyond. He's a storyteller, a nerdy delight, a lover of toys and games, and a total goofball in the best way. So grab your drink, and I've got some fruit roll-ups, because that's my favorite snack. And help me welcome Aaron. So welcome, Aaron.
Thank you very much for having me.
Do you have a drink? Do you have a favorite drink?
I've got a LaCroix. I don't drink, so
Okay.
sparkling water for me.
I don't drink either. I just have regular water.
Yeah, I won't
Yep.
try it. Hey, even better. That's what I start my day with every day.
Yeah. I do Starbucks and I do water.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do Gatorade. I'm in
We do a lot of Starbucks here.
You do? What's your favorite drink of choice?
Just a latte. Simple.
What kind of latte?
Grande latte. It's regular hot latte.
No, any syrups?
No. I love the taste of coffee. I love their black coffee too. Like if they make like Komodo Dragon or Guatemala Antigua, I'll get nice black coffee.
I don't understand. I gotta have my. Now I have sugar-free syrup, but I gotta have some type of syrup.
Yeah, you like the flavors. I just love this. I love it. It's kind of like wine, for people that are into wine. I like coffee in the same way.
Okay, so just straight black will be fine.
I like cream in my coffee too.
Okay.
A little bit, as long as the cream doesn't flavor the coffee.
Okay, but do you always like them hot?
Yeah.
So no cold ever?
Not really. Yeah. I don't mind it, but it's never like a go-to.
Yeah. I've been drinking the same drink for 15 years.
Which one? What's yours?
A venti iced skinny vanilla latte. 15 years. I didn't drink coffee till I was like 32.
Oh, wow.
I didn't drink any coffee. And then I worked at an art center that had a community theater. And God knows I need a coffee deal with those wonderful human beings.
Actors, my type.
Were you in community theater when you were younger?
No.
No.
School I went to didn't have a theater program.
Okay. So, all right. Well, let's start from the beginning, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When were you born? I'm just kidding. So my first question is, what did you want to be when you were young? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I honestly, up until I was about 7 years old, all I ever wanted to be was my Uncle Tony. He was just a cool guy from New York, and he drove a Corvette, and he was going to med school, and he was a cool guy. I wanted to be just like him. Unfortunately, what I didn't know when I was that age was that he was also a heroin addict. And that was how he passed away. And but after that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it down. But
No, it's okay.
That was I wanted to be he was like kind of like a superhero to me. So I always wanted to be I thought about med school, but I grew up, we didn't have a lot, so and I wasn't really academic as I could have been. If I had really applied myself, yeah, but I got so distracted so easily, and I was so into books and movies and TV and comic books and stories and all that stuff that English was really like what I gravitated towards. So, but how did I get off that? Oh, heroes. Or
what do you want to be when you grew up? But you want
I
to be
didn't really
Uncle
know what
Tony.
I wanted to be. I didn't really have any. No one was pushing me to make any decisions. And when it got time to kind of make a decision, when I graduated and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, I knew I wanted to do something with computers. Everyone told me, you got to do something with computers. Computers are the future. And I was really into it. I love computers. My grandfather, he retired from the military, and he was a sales manager at Radio Shack. So he always had some kind of a computer kind of lying around. that I always mess with. So my passion back then was like computers, because it was also kind of like a rebellious kind of a thing that not a lot of people were into. Nerds were into it.
Yeah.
I was definitely a nerdy kid. But eventually it got around to like music. I figured out that I wanted to be a musician of some sort.
Like okay, so your creative outlet was music when you were a kid.
But I also well, not when I was a kid. My creative outlet when I was a kid was just, it was reading and writing.
Okay.
It was, I wrote like little goofy short stories. I still have a bunch of them too, because I didn't realize my mom collected all this stuff. I'm like, hoarded this stuff away inside of a box. I found the box later. I was like, whoa. Like a blast.
Were they any good? Or were you like a...
No, they were fun little stories. They were very simple. It was very simple storytelling. Nothing complex. Dialogue was all over the place, but it was written kind of, the tenses were kind of mixed. Sometimes it was a little first person, sometimes it was a little third person. But it was, the kids writing. But they were good stories.
So you said you got and you wanted to get into music, but it was when did you get into music, and what was it an instrument? Was it singing?
Yeah, it was a band. It was two different bands. It was 9 Inch Nails, three different bands: 9 Inch Nails, Depeche Mode, and The Cure. And
I love Depeche.
those were the bands that got me. Now, I listened to completely different types of music when I was younger. When I was a kid, my mom had a Creative Records, and that was and I love music, and I listened to that stuff. But it was like 70s stuff. So it was Black Sabbath, it was Supertramp, it was Ozzy Osbourne, it was Electric Light Orchestra, and I can picture all these album covers in my head. Cause there's only like 20 of them. And the Beatles and Michael Jackson, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I love music. That was really the only music that I was exposed to, was that one stupid crate, and the music that was on the radio, which was always pop stuff. Or
yeah, that's my music background. Like, we didn't have Spotify. I had Nashville 107.5 The River. That's all I had. So I'd listen to
98 Rock.
Yeah.
98 Rock.
Yeah. Okay, so you started getting into instruments. So when you graduated high school, did you go straight into college, or did you start working?
I went straight into community college, was there for one semester, and was not having a good time. Wanted to get into a music store. I started working at a music store, just like a CD store, or like a tape,
like a Turtles.
Tape. It was Camelot Music.
Okay. Yeah.
But, yeah, and Blockbuster Music too. I worked there too.
Yep.
So I got into a music store, and that was my first kind of exposure into retail, mall retail, and it was awesome for an 18-year-old.
So how long did you do that for?
I worked in retail all the way up until 18, 19, 22. No, maybe a little longer.
4 or 5 years of retail.
Yeah, 21, 22, somewhere in there. And then I switched over into a different type of retail, which was the musical instrument side of it.
Yeah, so I'm a band kid, and my kids are band kids, so we visit the musical instrument store often. Yeah. And so, did you have to learn like how to fix strings and fix clarinets?
It was all greed. No, it was just sales. It was just sales.
Okay.
You just had to know how to sell.
How to sell was it like a clarinet to a mom, or was it like a guitar to a...
No, they were all different departments. So there was a band department, which I didn't work in because I didn't know anything about band equipment. There was a pro audio department, which I didn't know anything about, but I was a really fast learner, and I learned a lot about pro audio. Pro audio is like stage production, all that kind of gear, speakers, PA equipment, that kind of thing, and then keyboards and recording, which had computers. That was where I was. And there's also acoustic guitars, electric guitars, basses, and drums in the other department.
Were you ever a sound guy?
I was when I worked at this store as like a side gig.
Because they're their own beasts. Like when you say I'm a sound guy, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Like I kind of I put
Depends what kind of sound guy. I'm like an indoor sound guy. Okay. I tried doing live production, and it wasn't for me. It was like a different crowd, different kind of people work production, like roadies. Yeah, roadies are, it's like a different crowd.
Roadies, not groupies, roadies.
No.
Roadies are the ones that like carry the equipment from like with the
Yeah.
trailers and okay.
Yeah.
For a second I went groupies. I'm like, oh, we're going there. Okay, let's. Okay, so you worked in an instrument store. You started gravitating towards, sounds like the equipment part of it, like the computer stuff. So
Keyboards and recording, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So what was next? So I think I saw that you went to International Academy of Design and Technology.
Yeah, that was after all this. I was still kind of unsure. I was still growing up. It took me a while to really like adult up. I love the music store because I got to be around a lot of cool gear, and I was really good with everything. I learned so much on these companies, and I was selling a whole bunch. So I was making pretty decent money, and like these companies would fly me out to their corporate headquarters and teach me how to use their gear, so then I could sell more of it. And that was kind of how I got into working in studios, because I learned how to set everything up, from selling them to like studio owners would come in. They would want me to outfit their whole studio, so you'd sell them everything, and then you and a couple of the other guys from the store would get together, and we would all go in there and build up the studio.
So studios for music, or studios to what you're doing, like voice
Studios
acting?
for, I worked with one voice actor, and it was funny because he came in to buy a very particular piece of gear that I had never seen before, never heard of, but I was super interested in, because when I saw it, it was called a Zephyr, an ISDN box. It was a way that voice actors, way back in the 90s, maybe, I'm not sure exactly when they started doing it this way, but they would record with other studios over phone lines. And it was called ISDN service.
Huh.
And they were digital phone lines. And this guy came in, and he spent something like $7,000 on this box. It was the size of a VCR, and it had like 4 buttons on it and this tiny little screen. And I was so intrigued. I was like, what the hell does this do? I didn't know what it did. It only had a couple of weird connections in the back. One was a phone line, and then they had XLR for the audio. So I only knew half of it. And the guy told me all about it. He's a voice actor. He lives up in Newport Richey, and he's a voice actor. And this is the wave of the future. The guy had moved from LA. He used to be an LA radio guy, and then he became an LA voice actor guy. I don't remember his name though.
I was going to ask you if he's the person that made you think, oh, maybe
Mark.
I could do
His name
this.
was Mark. His name was Mark something. I can't remember. Mark Winston. That's his name.
Mark Winston. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you saw him, is that what kind of sparked your interest, or just put it in the back of
No,
your head?
but it was interesting. I was like, I didn't know what a voice actor was. I didn't know. I mean, I knew what a radio guy was. I knew that part of it. But yeah, I thought they all worked at radio stations. I thought every voice person worked at radio stations. I didn't really understand voice acting, even through all the. Hey guys, Maxie.
They would just want your attention.
I know.
They don't like you talking on the phone.
Wants to bark at somebody. Yeah, I got my pups here. We're lounging right now. I was going to do this from the booth, but I've been in the booth most of today.
Yeah, no. I decided to get cozy for this. I got new lighting. I was like, I want this to look different. Just relax. So I think it's perfect.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Okay. So you were talking about the voice actor. You didn't even know what voice acting was, because back in, early days, we just had, I get it. I understand, because you just had radio. Like that for me, and then at TV, I would think voiceover might be like a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understood it, but not really, not quite yet. It hadn't really dawned on me exactly what this was. Even after watching, I was a Saturday morning kid. I watched all the cartoons.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite?
My favorite cartoon was probably G.I. Joe, Thundercats, and He-Man.
I love G.I. Joe and He-Man. Yeah. I was a tomboy, but I also loved Smurf and Smurfette. So I was like a tomboy with not tomboy.
I watched Smurfs because it was on, and I thought it was just an interesting show. It was funny. But I also watched my second favorite was the Disney Afternoon during the day, Monday through Friday, and that was Tailspin, DuckTales, Duckula, what else? Gargoyles
I
and
never,
Batman.
I don't know what I was doing,
That
but
was
I
really
wasn't
good.
home for that. And guys, just to let you know in the chat, it wasn't on demand. Like you got home, and if you wanted to watch a show at 6:30, you had to be home at 6:30, or you missed it. Okay, not like
Yeah.
today's shows.
No, the Disney afternoon was after school, so it was like at 3:30. 3:30 to like 5:30. So 4 cartoons.
Okay, so you started setting up studios. So,
Yep.
and then you went to. So when did the schooling come in? And did you go to school for something specific?
Yeah, schooling came in right after that. I was setting up studios. I was getting into music production. I was learning a bunch. I was enjoying it. It was really, really hard to find a spot to work in because it was a very close knit community, and they didn't like new people coming in, especially somebody like me who was so eager and maybe a little overbearing, like a little overbearing. I was so into it, and I was a sponge. I really wanted to learn this stuff, and I think I was just a little too aggressive back then. But it didn't matter.
Were you kind of like a, not a butthole, but like were you kind of like a jerk, or were you just like really eager?
No, I think I was just eager.
Oh,
I was eager, and everybody was kind of low key, and I think people took eagerness and the kind of like my approach. I was just so into it. Um, Everybody gets a little cagey or gets a little like because there is no traditional path to doing this stuff. Everyone kind of comes at it in a weird way, so everyone gets a little defensive. They get easily a
yeah,
little bit of insecure.
yeah.
Or,
They didn't want you to
think
come
you're gonna
take their territory.
yeah, and that's not at all what I was into. But I found a cool some guys that I sold a Pro Tools system to. It was a hip hop group. They were over in St. Pete. They had a studio space. They wanted me to teach them how to record. So I did that. Helped them set their studio space up. Um, Went over there every I don't know, like every few months, couple months. Anytime that I needed cash, I would go over there and I would clean up I would take apart their computer, clean the computer out because they used to smoke ganja and stuff all in the studio, smoke cigarettes in the studio, so everything was kind of very ashy, very dirty. So you go through and just clean everything out, clean up all their hard drives because it was back then where the equipment was so expensive, but the computers were so big and the equipment was so huge that dust would just kind of accumulate inside of everything. So you had to go through and make sure everything was all cleaned out. But there were these big giant hard drives that were the size of I don't know, like half the size of a VCR, big glyph drives. They would have a stack of those things, and it'd be like an ashtray sitting on top of it.
When
Guys,
you
what are you
say clean
doing, man?
out the computer, I was thinking, is it called defragging? When you,
I would do that kind of stuff too. Yeah,
yeah,
I would go through all their sessions and clean all their sessions up, organize everything, and do all that. Make sure everything was backed up, make sure everything was saved. Because it was all their music. So if they lost a drive, that meant losing precious art.
yeah.
So, but the police raided that studio and accidentally burned it down, and it was at that moment where I was like, I don't think I want to, because I had been in the studio just a couple days on Friday after work that night doing a clean out. I just went up there. I think I transferred some files or something. I can't really remember exactly what I was doing. But I cleaned up their other system just a couple days before. It happened like late Sunday morning, like at 3:00 in the morning. The police raided the place, but they threw in one of those incendiary things and it caught all the acoustic foam on fire.
So the place you were going to that pays your bills,
Yeah,
the police raided it,
yeah,
and then it caught on fire,
yeah.
and you
All
took
those
that as a
guys.
sign.
I took that as a sign. Well, those
Yeah,
guys were drug
it's a big
dealers. They were
sign.
super sweet guys. They were drug dealers. But they were wanting to transition into music, so I was like all about that for them. But they were funny guys too, sweet guys. But yeah, the police. Unfortunately, they burned the whole thing down. So if there was any evidence in there that they were trying to get, they burned everything to the ground. So the police or the city ended up having to buy them a new studio. Kind of a funny
So
story.
the city bought the studio because they caught it on fire?
Yeah, they got sued. Yeah.
They got sued by the people that
Well, they burnt up all their.
turned
Well,
around.
they did. I'm not sure exactly what the story was because I didn't. They,
Like this is on Dateline.
well, it was a St. Petersburg story, and it was big for like a split second, but then once it all kind of faded off like very very quickly, which I was surprised about now. Thinking back as an adult now, and that was actually an interesting story.
You think?
They can go
I'm
further.
like,
Yeah.
I expect to see that like on Dateline. Like, you know,
If
they
it
do
was,
those
if it had
1980s
happened,
Dateline episodes.
if it had happened in the past, I don't know, 20 years, yeah, maybe. But the internet really
Yeah.
wasn't much back then either. Like there was no social media at that point. So
Okay, so
communication was
side
via a
story
newspaper.
about things catching on fire. I work with different people in Tennessee, and there's some rural area people. And
You are
they're
from
like,
Tennessee. I
huh?
caught that accent.
Yeah,
So are you from Tennessee?
I am. I'm born and raised in Nashville.
Born and raised
So that's
in
why I've got a
Nashville.
country accent, but yet not all country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
that
my
country.
family lives in McMinnville.
Oh, yeah, that's right down the road from me.
Yeah.
Yep. So they were saying that, like, well, I can't go visit him, or he didn't come into the office because his house burnt down. I was like, oh no. They're like, oh no, it's fine. He did it for insurance. I said, what? And that apparently in rural areas, like, they're like, when they cleared the house out and all the family wasn't there during the fire, they did it themselves.
Right.
It's like a thing. I was like, and then other people from the rural areas were like, yeah, it happens. I was like, I can't.
So you get in your house.
Yeah. I mean, it just was common knowledge. I didn't have any knowledge. It wasn't common to me. So it kind of made me giggle. Okay, so your place of employment caught on fire by the police.
It was a side hustle. It was something I did after work. It was like an after hours thing, and I did that for a couple of different studios that I sold gear to, and it was usually like little small stuff. Like there's a wealthy guy up in Palm Harbor. I sold him a studio, and he made like techno in his room. It's kind of a fun guy. I can't remember his name either. But after that, I decided I wanted to change, and music definitely wasn't the thing. But what I had heard about was in 2003, they shot a movie called The Punisher here in Tampa, and I got to go behind the scenes because I had quit the music store. I was going to school for digital production. That was the actual degree program that I was going for. It was that was a BS degree. I think it was a BS degree, Bachelor's of Science. No, AS degree. I can't remember what it was. I didn't go all the way through the program. I stopped right before the final project. I bounced out because it was so expensive to go to that school, and I didn't really need it at that point. I was already working. I was already a PA for MTV. I was working on some shows.
Hold on. I didn't see that in any. You worked at MTV?
I worked on MTV shows as a PA. It was like some of my very first gigs in production work.
No. Okay. Which shows?
It was High School Moms and High School Stories were the two shows. Those were the only ones that were shot in that time period in this area.
Okay, so just full disclosure, I was a dork, and I only watched TV when I was younger, and then I skipped my whole high school years, so I don't even know those two shows. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was an interesting. It definitely taught me that that's not what I wanted to do with my time.
Be a PA? I can't imagine.
Being a PA, I was a really good PA too, man. I could have been a professional PA, but you know, I was responsible, and I could do attention to detail. I mean, some of the PAs that get like hired on sets, it's like some of them are like, man, what's going on with you? This is the easiest job ever. All you have to do is literally do exactly what people tell you.
Yeah, and you get told what to do.
Easiest job ever.
Think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you need coffee? Okay, go get your coffee. It's done. Okay. What was I saying? I did that. I was going to school. I started working at a movie theater, and because the movie theater allowed me to work up, I was a projectionist. I worked upstairs in 35 millimeter and IMAX. That allowed me to study while I was in school, and it allowed me to do like side hustle work with like graphic design, just like real simple like Photoshop type stuff.
Yeah.
And
I was a mass comm major, and I got Photoshop. Yep.
Yeah.
Back in the day with clip art.
Yeah.
Yep.
Clip art. Remember clip art?
Yeah. Okay, so you were doing that. When did you make the leap from I'm going to be this digital person to I got a
Uh,
good voice?
it took me, let's see what happened. It took a few years. And I was working at a studio in, I think, 2006. It was the first studio that I worked at where we did post-production. We worked on commercial work, we worked on videos, we worked on film projects. Um, yeah, that would have been like the first spot, yeah. And I was working with a ton of voice talent. Pretty much every commercial that we went through, voice talents would come in. That was still back when we were doing a lot of voice stuff. All the local talent were still coming into the studio. The talents didn't have home studios yet. This was still it was still very expensive. Like I said, that one Zephyr box was like $7,000. You needed to have that box to connect to any studio in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Atlanta. Those were like the hubs where like all the advertising agencies or, you know, like the places that were actually putting together all these spots, but they would hire voice talent from Tampa. But also all the local advertising and stuff was happening. So worked with a ton of talent and started recording scratch tracks. People really liked my voice for stuff. But that was kind of like a little fickle job. My mom got sick shortly thereafter, and I had to take a 2-year hiatus from work to help her, take care of her. She was very sick. And after that, I got into doing video, like more video, like related stuff. And that eventually, I did car commercials for a long time. And I did a bunch of voiceover work for car commercials, which is a beast in itself. It's just a lot of yelling. Marr, Chevrolet, this, blah, blah. A lot of really fast-paced, high-energy kind of yelling.
Well, okay, so before you go on,
yeah.
I saw that you worked with some very high-energy people.
Yeah.
What the OxyClean?
Yeah.
You worked with the OxyClean guy.
I started working with Anthony Sullivan's company, Sullivan Productions, in 2009. I was freelance. I did video editing for them, and a buddy of mine, John, my friend John, he did all the audio for them, and he was like my buddy there because I was also an audio guy that went to video.
Yeah.
So I had a lot in common with John, and so we always used to chit chat and stuff about that.
Was he he's intense on screen. Was he in like?
Oh no, he was super quiet. He was super sweet.
No way.
He was a low-key guy. Yeah.
Okay.
He was very mellow. Yeah. That was. It was kind of a persona, but it was a. You know, he's what do they call them? Buskers? Is that what they call them? The people that hop up on a. Like they go to the fairs and they sling wares. Yeah. Kind of like a barker, kind of like that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's what they are. They're pitchmen, or pitch people, pitch men, pitch women.
I mean, my mama bought some OxyClean because he told her to.
Well, yeah, because OxyClean is honestly pretty awesome. I still use it.
It actually is. It
really does work.
Yeah.
I worked on so many shows for OxyClean. But yeah, I started working with Anthony Sullivan and his company in 2009. I was freelance for about 4 years. Worked with Billy Mays. Billy Mays passed away. Sully took over doing all the American and the British OxyClean stuff. He took over for Billy, which he still does, like to this day. And I worked with Sully until 2017. But that was what really got me into doing voiceover, a lot more voiceover. Like I took a break from doing the car stuff was like intense. Yeah. So then I started working on the infomercial stuff. Well, I started doing scratch reads for the infomercial stuff, and the clients loved it.
Okay, now scratch reads?
Scratch reads is where you just the video.
Okay, I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself.
What's that?
There, you got it. I think you muted, but you didn't. You're good. I hear you now. No, I don't hear you. Okay, is it me? I still can't hear you. So I'm going to ask my peeps to let me know. Can you guys hear Aaron? Someone says, where's the Verizon guy? Can't hear him. So it's not just me. So at one point you had a little mute microphone on, but then you don't, and I still can't hear you. Oh. Technical difficulties. Do, 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 do. That's Jeopardy. That's when you ask a question. What's hold music? I'm sure he's going to go out and come back in. And then I'll find him. No, it says he's still on. Okay. So this is all interesting. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? The OxyClean. He's like, you've got to clean your clothes. And he's so intense. And you just are like, okay, I need to clean my clothes. Let me buy it from you. Anyways. He's probably getting new earbuds. You're right. Letty says, Precious, you're fabulous. I'll take it. Thank you. He says, wait one moment. And then it says his little microphone on it. It says, you're mute again. So I think, thanks, Catherine. You want me to do it's the OxyClean? Is that what it is? Like now you want to go buy OxyClean? Like I got the wrong career. I should have been selling OxyClean, right? All right. I got so much stuff, but this is good. I'm understanding his career and how he got into it. But now it's just me. Okay, so while we're not doing anything, guys, it's just us. What do we think of the light? Because I can make it go different, but I thought it looked good, like kind of cozy. Like it was a little bit different than what I normally do. You guys are like, I don't care. Get Aaron back up here. It's while we're here. I agree with you. Get him back up here. There he is. I invited him.
Hello.
Let's see. I hear you.
Hello.
Perf. What was it? Do you know?
There we are. We're back.
You're back.
My wife called. My wife called. I couldn't get to the thing quick enough to make it stop, and it shut off on Bluetooth.
Yeah. So I always do not disturb. T.
I know.
Is my helper. She told me to do that. Right. So now I always do it because my kids are always like ding, 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 ding. Can we talk now? No. I'll tell you when you can talk. Ugh. Do the Borat. My wife. I don't know what that means, Jackie. Aaron's paused. He's probably putting on Do Not Disturb. That's probably what he's doing. And it does lock your screen for a minute when you do that. I've learned when I do that, I smile. And then I do it because then it'll stop on this. And then I'll come back. I'm vain. I don't know what to say. Hey, Jen's Books and Stuff. How you doing? Jen's Books and Stuff. We've got a cool giveaway we're going to do next week. Okay, sorry. Okay, you're back. You're good. Wife's good.
Good. Do Not Disturb. Now nobody can call me.
There
Just got to remember to turn it back on.
Yeah, you do. Because what if she needs you? You know what I'm saying?
No, she's working late tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is perfect night then.
We call. I forgot to tell her that I was doing this. I think I told her. I just didn't put it on the calendar.
Okay. All right. So we're at 2017, which I think that's when you started your.
Yeah, 2015 came around, and I was paying a lot of attention to streaming services and cable cutting and this trend that people were talking about. And I had a sneaking suspicion that the infomercial industry was going to tank, and I was going to be out of a job. And I was making really decent money. It was awesome, but it felt like the prize pony was like it was time to retire the prize pony. That industry was just like I just got a really bad feeling, and that was in 2014. And I started looking for something else, and I was like, I got to do something else. I was doing voiceover on the side, and but it was it was so hit or miss. I didn't have an agent yet, so it was just like all old clients, and I was all doing it kind of through Sully's place. And 2015 came around, and I had a 90-minute commute going to and from work from 2000. 2012-ish, up
An
until...
hour and a half, 2 to 3 hours a day?
Yeah, depending on traffic. Yeah,
that was
on
me
traffic.
when I used to work.
So I was crushing, obviously, a lot of audiobooks because music was just making me like, because it's the kind of music I love.
So you didn't want to be ragey.
I didn't want to be ragey.
Got it.
So I got back into listening to audiobooks. I used to listen to audiobooks when I was a kid. They were great. You could go to the library and you could rent them, and you would have really interesting people tell you a cool story. So I listened to a bunch of audiobooks, and 2015 came around, and I had reached out to this audiobook narrator that I really loved his work, and he mentioned something about ACX. So I found ACX. ACX is a website that connects indie authors with, I guess, freelance voice actors. And I started there. I built a studio inside my house in a closet, which I had already done before. That was pretty easy. I still had equipment left over from a studio that I used to own. And I put it all together, put a Pro Tools system together, got it set up in the house, and started audiobooks. Recorded my first audiobook was like a 45-minute little sci-fi short story.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
The person that you talk to, that you listen to, and talk to you about it, are they still in the business?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an actor. Yeah. He's out in L.A. or I think he's local-ish to L.A. at this point. His name is McLeod Andrews.
Okay.
He's a narrator. He's done a bunch of books from like authors that I'm just completely in love with. That was how I found him.
What kind of books do you like?
I like urban fantasy. I love Stephen King. I love Cormac McCarthy. I love a lot of classics. I love Frankenstein and Alice in Wonderland are my two absolute favorite stories in the world. The Hobbit, I've read all of those.
But what you're not saying is romance books.
I read romance because that's what I get paid to do.
Okay.
And I absolutely love working on romance. It's my favorite. Out of all the genres to work in, it's my absolute favorite to work in because it's so comfortable and I relate so closely to the characters in these stories because they're all real people. I didn't even know romance existed until I got into romance, and the second audition that I ever did was a romance book, and that was when I realized, I was like, wait a second, these books are here too? Romance for me, when I was growing up, when I saw, it was all these crazy Highlander, Fabio guys on the cover, like with the hair blowing through the wind and the breeze and all that stuff, That
you saw in like the grocery store.
Yeah.
Fabio
so
on that cover. Yeah.
I didn't even
know
about.
Cart.
Yeah. I didn't even realize romance was like a genre outside of fantastical stuff. When you saw the covers, you were like, that's a fantastical story. It's like a pirate swashbuckling kind of a deal. What the hell's going on in this story? But you knew it was a romance because the dude was like, his chest was all out and the babe was with him, and she was all breastfeed. So it was like, okay. But I didn't realize the level that romance stories were written until 2015. And I cracked open one of my first ones, one of the very first ones that I auditioned for. And I got super lucky, and I got it. And it was written by Vanessa Fewings. It was called Richard's Reign. I did narrate some very interesting short stories that I think they've all been pulled from Audible. I hope they have.
Why? Were they inappropriate?
No, they weren't inappropriate. They were just...
Bad?
They were bad. I would never say that anything that I worked on was bad.
No.
But they were not. They were...
par.
They were somebody's best effort. I'm sure if they kept writing, they were going to get much better over time as anybody that can write. But they were very short stories, and they were like some of the first stuff that I found on ACX, and I wasn't comfortable at that point. Taking on an 8 or 10 hour book was daunting. You don't even. I mean, it takes.
Okay, but my new thing is, that's someone's best effort. I mean, that was very
at that
smart
point in time,
and
it's like me looking back on my childhood stories. It's like, yeah, you could criticize them and say, oh, technically those are awful. And it's like, well, yeah, but they were written by a child. It was the best effort that person did at that point in time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the effort that they put into it.
Yeah.
And I also agreed to narrate these stories, and I did the best that I possibly. Also, me as a brand new narrator, I did the best that I possibly could. And if I listen back to those, I could be critical about that. Be like, see, my pacing was off. I wasn't breathing properly. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing that. My enunciation was, you know, it was way
What
too
is
fast.
Maya say? You know, when you know better, you do better. So if you didn't know better, you
Yeah.
learn as you go. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
there
say a
was
lot of
no.
authors are very critical of their. I mean, like that's what I've learned. These authors that have good books out now, like they're embarrassed. They're like, it was not very good. I'm like, you gotta start somewhere. That's what I
Yeah.
say. Yeah. Okay, so I also heard you describe your career path as pure luck.
It was pure luck.
Now explain that to me.
It was hard work, like a ton of really, really, really hard work, and then pure luck that I reached out to an agent, or I reached out to an agent, but I also reached out to the publishing companies, some of the bigger publishing companies that we work with. I reached out to them directly, and I probably spent a week formatting this email, trying to get this email perfect. So it wasn't like too long, wasn't too short, it was direct, was to the point. And I had worked really hard on these demos. I had worked really hard on these royalty share books through ACX. So I think I probably had 25 or 50 projects under my belt at that point. And they said yes. They thought it was good enough, and I did it. And working on that one book with Vanessa Fewings, that one project and a couple of the other RS projects that I had got me in front of the oral fixation group and got people, and they had like 4,000 people or something at that point, maybe a little less. Active, like people that were actively paying attention to the group, and it was all recommendations. People, this is the stuff that you're into.
That's a Facebook group, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Okay, yeah, because I've seen them before.
Yeah. So I went in, and somebody had mentioned to me, he was like, "Hey, your name keeps coming up in this Facebook group that we're in." And I was like, "Oh, what group is that?" The oral fixation. I was like, "What the hell is an oral fixation?" I didn't know what that was, and I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. These are fans of the stuff of the exact stuff that I do." So as soon as I found like somebody post something with my name on it, I was like, "Oh, hey, well, thank you so much." I started interacting with the fans, and that's the part that I really kind of enjoy about doing this stuff is, the fans. It's so easy to interact with people that are really enjoying the work.
Yeah.
In a positive way. So it's cool. You get it's a fun experience.
Yeah. So
but pure luck, because
yeah,
when you audition for stuff, there are so many things that are going against you in that audition. It's like you just might not be just the right person for that role, but I just happen to be someone listening to the audition and were like, yeah, that's kind of perfect for this. And so that was the pure luck part. Somebody hearing that and being like, that's not that you could listen to, there were 50 different people that auditioned for the role of Captain Jack Sparrow, but only one person could get it. It's not like any of those other 50 people were like not just as good. They just didn't have this one little trait
that someone was looking
one little
for.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the pure luck comes in. The luck is just like you just happen to be somebody's pick that day.
What is your biggest book? Like, if you go, that was the biggest book the biggest for my career. Like, biggest book, and then what's your favorite?
Oh, I don't have a favorite. That's way too hard.
First of all, is that like kids? Like mom say they don't have favorite because they
it's
do
worse
have
than
favorite.
kids, because it's like how many people can say they've got over 600 kids?
I hope no one actually.
Which one is your favorite? Honestly, man, I think it's when they're 472. I mean, she was perfect. She got all the grades right. She went to the colleges. She got all the scholarshiping. It's every 472.
Point taken. Okay, so what's in your mind? What's the book that you're like, okay, that's the one that pushed me over? Like that's the one that's the reason why I have 600 audiobooks. Is it the first one that you just talked about, or
That
is it
benefit
another
viewing
one?
ones was a big one because that one got me in front of a lot of people, and then authors started paying attention, and then I got started. And oh yeah, I do remember it was a Sarah Kate book.
Yep,
A
Sarah
Sarah
Kate.
Kate book kind of propelled me forward through that oral fixation. Oral fixation was a huge, huge part of my career. That got me out. It got me in front of a lot of people very quickly, and then it was all the hard work. The hard work, now that I had that going, it was really like figuring out how to do this long term and how to do it every day. It takes a lot of endurance.
So, is your wife with you on this journey?
No, I mean she's on her own journey, and we're like, we're together.
But I'm just saying, like, was she there for the car commercials all the way through?
Oh yeah. She's been here. Yeah.
So what did she say
We got
when you were
married.
like, I'm doing? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so the thing about me is, I get into a lot of things, and I get really into it. Very passionate person. I dive headfirst into things. I've done sculpting. I've done artwork. I've done painting. I've done my music. I still goof around with music every now and then. I still play my bass. I still have my guitar up, and I was just playing my guitar today. For like 30 minutes today, I pulled that down and just started kind of playing around. So whenever I say that, hey, I think I'm going to try this thing out, usually her first reaction is, oh, okay. So that's, it's just, it's not an exasperation, but it's just like, okay, we're going to be on this journey for a little while, and this is all he's going to be talking about. And that is what happened, but I ended up making a career out of it.
Yeah, a good one.
Like a really awesome career. So now when I tell her I want to do stuff, she's like, I think she still gets a little bit of that. I think it's more panic starts to set in, like, oh my God, here we go. Big changes are happening. And I'm just like,
So I'm assuming
all about it.
Your booth's at your house. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you enjoy it? I mean, do you enjoy?
Yeah. I'm a little housebound. That's kind of, I'm a little bit housebound. I don't have a lot of reasons to leave the house. There's very few things that I need outside of this place. So it's like I'm starting to kind of, that's what makes me appreciate the trips that I take to go out to the conventions where I actually get to see human beings.
I was going to ask about those, yeah.
It's more than just me sitting inside this box.
Yeah.
Every day.
So I'm new to the book world the last 2 years. Haven't been to really big conventions, but I have a lot of friends now. And they talk about the conventions they go to, and you're at a lot of them. Like, and they say you're funny, you're quirky, you're personable, you're nice. Like, so it seems, because I haven't asked a narrator this before. Like, why do you go to the conventions? Because I know that authors go to get their work out there, and they actually sell books at it. So, they get some work. What do you got? Like, as a voice actor, when you go to these conventions, you get your name out there, and you get to meet fans. Is that the reason why you go? And to network with authors?
You get to interact with fans. It's not even really networking with authors. I just like to be present and relevant, and I like to meet and greet and just kind of hang out and have little experiences with as many people as I can on those trips. And I found every time I go to a convention for the next 6 months, I just get like constant bookings. My bookings kind of increase.
I see. Yeah, it's exposure.
So, and once the first convention was nerve-wracking because I had no idea what the hell I was doing there. Nobody really knew what I was doing there as well. They're like, why is a narrator here? Like that was like some of the first like 2 or 3 conventions we went to. We were off in a corner just sitting in chairs, and all of us were just kind of looking at each other like, what are we doing here? So then we just started, me and a couple of the other narrators that are a little more outgoing, we're just like, well, let's just walk around and, I don't know, just go talk to people. Look at all the covers, talk to people about all the artwork. Like, oh man, the artwork in your book is really amazing. Like, did you hire that out? Did you do it yourself? And it's like, it's just those little experiences. And then you meet more people, and then people talk about you, and then all of a sudden, more people are talking about you, and then more people are paying attention to you. And then all of a sudden, people are like, you get an email like, hey, I've got this author that was asking about you. Are you available for the series?
Mm-hmm.
That's just how that works.
Yeah.
We don't get paid to go to these events. Like the whole thing comes out of our pocket for the most part. There is one event that I've been to, and they covered the room, the hotel room for us, which was amazing, and they covered all the fees. So that was really awesome.
Yeah.
But everything else is all out of pocket.
So at these conventions, is there one fan interaction that sticks out to you, like as crazy or sweet or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one. Okay, so Sarah Kate. So I've worked on a few of Sarah Kate's books, and she's an amazing author. She's really, really good. She's very popular, and I have a hair somewhere on my face. Oh my God, get off her head. So I've met her. I think I met her like 3 times, and I am so bad putting names to faces.
Yeah.
I am just so bad about it that I bumped into her, and I was like, the first time we met, we're like, hey, we had a great little conversation. We met again. I was like, do I know you? I'm Aaron. And I'm always so eager to just get that out of the way, because it's like I don't want anyone to feel awkward. I don't want to, I want everyone to feel included in the conversation. If they have social anxiety, I want to just get that right out of the way. Like, it's nothing you have to worry about. I'll take care of all of this, and I'll just be the chatty one, if you want. So I'm usually pretty quick to introduce myself to people just to get it out of the way, because that honestly, like, I don't know, I guess it's something that I think about too, so I just kind of assume everyone else feels the same way. But so I did that a few times, and we finally got to the point where it's like every time I saw her, I was like, do I know you? Have we met before? So now we do that kind of like all the time.
Oh,
and
that's
it's just
funny.
a very special little, it's just a little, I'll always remember our little experience like that. And I love those kind of experiences. I have a bunch of them, actually.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because I don't always remember everybody's name. It just depends on the interaction. If the interaction is like awkward, or if it's funny enough, then yeah, I'll remember everything about them. Like Sarah Kate. I was like, I remember Sarah Kate and I know that she's really into Rubik's Cubes. I don't know why I knew that. But in one of our interactions, we were talking about Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah. I'm sort of the same way. Once at my work,
hey guys,
I was dealing with like 40 people, and I introduced myself to someone. I turned around 3 different times within a 20-minute period and kept introducing myself to the same person. And everyone around me knew, but I was so like in my, I was like, my bad. I'm sorry. And so now I remember her every time. Okay, so we are coming up on the hour mark. Do you have a few more minutes to go over?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Okay. I'm just looking at, one thing you'll know is I love questions.
I always have questions. I read through them all.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
I always have too
You
many.
should be a reporter. You should do this professionally.
Well, okay, if you insist. I'm just kidding. I don't know what professionally looks like. Okay, so I'm just looking. You've already said your favorite genre to narrate is romance.
Yep.
Do you have a dream book that you would like to narrate?
Stephen King.
Really?
It's Stephen King. If Cormac McCarthy was still here, I would say Cormac McCarthy. But I can say that the guy that really influenced me heavily enough to give this work a try, McLeod Andrews, he got to narrate one of Cormac McCarthy's last books. So
that's neat.
I listened to that book, and I was so happy that he got to do it, even though I'm kind of bummed because Cormac McCarthy passed away that I'll never be able to narrate one of his books.
Aaron, I don't know who this is. Just to let you know, I'm not book smart.
He's like a. Have you seen The Road with Viggo Mortensen? Is it Mortensen?
Yes.
Mortensen?
Yeah.
He wrote that book.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, you know me. You just equate it to a movie and then an actor, and I got you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
He's also written a whole bunch of his books have become movies, from the 70s all the way up into the 80s and 90s. But he's just a classic American storyteller, like that. What do you call it? That genius level author, kind of like a Hemingway. He's like our current current Hemingway, without all the bravado.
And the issues. Have you ever reached out to Stephen King? Tell him you're interested?
No, I don't even know how I do that. I don't even think he picks his narrators, but I mean, like, one of my favorite narrators in the world narrates a whole bunch of his books. oh my God, I'm gonna forget his name right now. See his face, but I can't picture his name. Will Patton. Uh, he's such a great narrator. He narrates a bunch of Stephen King. I would actually,
I've ever listened to
as much as I would want to work on one of Stephen King's books, and that means that's a Stephen King book that I wouldn't get to listen to because I wouldn't listen to my own work.
Yeah.
But
So
I get to.
You've never listened to your own work?
No, I mean I have, but I don't. It's not something that I listen to. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Do you ever listen, like when you do a multicast or a duet or something, do you ever listen to the finished product just to see what you sound like together or anything?
No, because the audio engineer in me would start getting picky about things or start hearing things and be like, oh, should have done that better. Oh, I could have done that. Oh, I could have, would have, should have.
Okay.
But what I always try to tell myself is that was the best that I possibly could have done at that point in time.
All right. Narration style. Solo, dual, duet.
I love solo because,
really?
Well, yeah, the control freak in me gets to control everything, and I get to set the stage, and I get to do everything. But I really love collaboration, so I like the dual aspect of it. And there's no way. I've done one book where I did both. Oh, my buddy Jake is watching this. He just thanks, Jake. I appreciate you, buddy. I love you.
Hey, Jake.
What was I saying?
You were saying dual.
Oh yeah. For dual, I get to work with people. I did one book where I did the male POV and the female POV, and it was because it was a royalty share project, and there was no way to split royalties between two narrators, so I had to. And it was before I even entertained the idea of just hiring another narrator to do the female portion, and then I'll do the royalty share for the whole book, which is how I did a lot of other projects. And it was awkward. Even though the book, I think the story was good, it's got excellent reviews. It wasn't even like a negative review, but some of the more middle of the road reviews were like, maybe it should have had a female narrator. And I was like, and I agreed too. I was like, but that was the best I could have done with that. But it was also the first and the last time. Because after I did the book, I was like, that really should have been done by a female. I don't think I did that justice. I think I did an okay job for what I was hired to do. But it was like, I think a female should have done that.
So I've noticed, duet's very popular, the duet style.
Yeah.
And so when people come out with solo or dual books, like some of my friends just don't even pay attention to them. And I'm like, I've listened to dual, like I thought that's how I was. And then I listened to dual. I'm like, I loved it. I loved that someone got control of a whole chapter and was able to, So.
It's more of like a storytelling style. Duet is more of a multicast, more of like a stage play kind of a situation. Even though we're still telling stories, one person at least in every chapter gets to be more of a narrator or storyteller because it's in that main POV, and then all the dialogue gets kind of cast out. I do love duet. I worked in duet and multicast is just fun. I like the format.
Really, because I would just imagine that like you don't even see the arc because you're just choppy,
No, the budgets. It depends on the level of duet and multicast. The more money you throw at it, the better the production can be.
Sure.
I don't even want to know. I can't even imagine how much Audible spent on the Sandman series. That was done. I mean, they had the cast alone.
I don't know that one either.
That one's really good. If you like, I mean, it's Neil Gaiman. He's having some issues, unfortunately, which is feels like all the good creators that you fall in love with. All of a sudden, it's like you find out that they're horrible people.
Oh no.
But it's a brilliant kid. I've been a fan of the Sandman series since the early '90s. I think is when they came out, maybe the late '80s. It was a graphic novel series, comic book.
That's not the.
It's on Netflix now. Yeah, the second season.
Is it the Nightmare? Like what's it called? What is it? Like Scary Movie?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not
Because
scary.
wasn't there Sandman like in the '90s? That it scared the crap out of me.
Oh yeah, that might be a horror film.
Okay, yeah, horror.
Yeah. This is the Sandman, and it's based on a character called the Dream, and him and his brothers and sisters, they rule different realms. It's a really cool Netflix series. They did a fantastic job with the story. It's really good.
I don't watch TV anymore because I listen to books. And I do
Listen to
social
the
media.
audiobook, The Sandman. It's the same. It's
I might
the
do
exact. It's the Netflix series that's happening, but it's just the audiobook form, and it's the same level of actors. More famous actors are in the audiobook than there are in the Sandman series, because it's a lot of newer actors in the Sandman series. A lot of newer,
Okay.
and James
So
McAvoy plays the Sandman in
I
the
love James.
audiobook.
See, I know that. See, I knew you. You
Yeah,
knew all you got to do is tell me an actor. I'm like, oh, I know that one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
James
wait, he
McAvoy,
plays
Kat
it
Dennings.
in the audio or on the
He
Netflix?
plays the main character, yeah, in the
In the
audiobook.
audio?
Yeah,
Oh, I like
yeah.
his voice.
He's awesome. He's
I love it that
fantastic.
you knew that was going to get me. Like you can say all this stuff about James McAvoy. I'm like, yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm about to get into like a rapid fire round
Sure, go for
and
it.
I do not know it's the Proust questionnaire. But first, I wanted to see, is there anyone you wanted to bring up to chat with real quick? We don't have to, but
Oh, I don't have
anyone?
anybody, and it's so
Okay.
late. I didn't. Yeah,
Yeah, you're fine.
I've been grinding away this past week and a half, almost 2 weeks, because I'm leaving for a cruise on Sunday,
Ooh, where are you going?
and I had to make sure. I'm not sure. It's a Rainbow Readers cruise. I honestly don't. I'm just happy to be like on a vacation, kind of away from the house for a week.
Yeah,
But it's a working cruise, so
it's
it's like a convention.
a convention.
Yeah,
On
yeah,
yeah, I've heard those.
yeah.
I've been thinking about planning one like
It's
now.
super fun. This one is
Yeah.
all or it's all rainbow. It's all LGBTQ focused. It's all rainbow focused. I can't believe it. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a good time. It's hosted by Joel Leslie. I don't know if you've heard his work.
Yeah.
Fantastic narrative.
All my friends are like, no, if you're an ass, she does not. I'm like, no, I mean, no.
Yeah, it's a book cruise. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so do you know what so I kind of Googled, because, kind of Googled this one-on-one thing, and I kind of Googled, really, really like the Inside the Actor Studio. I loved that one. I always watched it, and it was so interesting. And I learned that the questions at the end, he didn't really come up with those. It's from the 1800s, from a guy named Marcel Proust. I don't know how, it's French, so I'm sure I said it wrong. Who believed that in answering these questions, an individual reveals his or her true nature. And those questions he got from that, and so I have some on here too that's not his. But I think they're interesting. Okay, so here we go. The first one is, this is a big one. What is your idea of happiness?
Oh man, that's a hefty question.
I know.
My idea of happiness. Oh my goodness, that's a deep question.
It is.
I'll have to
See,
think
I'm going to know
about
all
that.
about you after these questions. He was right.
Yeah.
I'll know your true nature.
Let me think about that for a second. Let me get to the
Okay.
next question.
Got it. What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear? I am irrationally afraid of public speaking and heights.
Okay, heights I understand, because me too, but you speak for a living.
Yeah, I know.
But you speak in a booth. You speak in a booth.
No, I do public speaking. I even did stand up. I did an open mic doing stand up. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I really did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I'm still like the irrational fear of public speaking, of being up in front of people and having people pay attention to you. It's still there. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is. Okay. What trait do you deplore in yourself?
What trait? Oh,
That's
how I
deplore.
treat
Is that
myself.
1800? What?
How I treat myself. I wish it's taken a lot of effort to learn how to treat myself with kindness, respect, and I used to be, and I still am. It's like a daily kind of a struggle, but very critical, very judgmental, very very overly like you should be better kind of mentality, that A type personality.
But you
very
probably
passionate.
don't project that on others, though, do you? It's only
No.
you're only that hard on yourself.
Oh,
You forgive others for their
hard on myself. Yeah.
It's so interesting, because I'm
Yeah.
similar. What do you deplore in others?
Doing that to themselves, treating themselves like horrible people. It's like I can't stand to watch people do that to themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
What quality do you like most in a man?
What quality do I like most in a man? Truth, honesty.
And what about a woman?
Truth, honesty.
So it's just about the
Very
person.
important.
When and where were you the happiest?
Oh, probably when I was a kid. When I first read The Running Man by Stephen King, I specifically remember finding that book. It was at a book fair. I don't even know why this book was in the book fair, because it was not. I guess it was like a upper teen book fair, I guess. But I was pretty young when I got it, and it was that was what introduced me to Stephen King. Kind of in a, I just really love that story for some reason. It's a really cool story.
You need to write Mr. King a letter. I do. I think that he'd be honored that someone of your caliber in the romance.
I've got a lot of. I've got so many inspirational people that because my dad wasn't around. My dad left when I was 2, so I had to look around and seek out male role models. Because I just wasn't accustomed to it. I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with a very headstrong single mom, man, who kicked ass. So I found my inspirations for male role models were in like the authors, the big actors, the Arnold Schwarzeneggers on TV, the Sylvester Stallone, the Indiana Jones. Those guys were my heroes growing up. So yeah.
That's interesting, because I had a mom and dad, but I didn't like where I was. So I would do the same thing, but with families, like like the TV shows and the Yeah. Okay. What word or phrase do you overuse?
What word or phrase do I overuse? I'm not sure. I could be an person, or I could be a like person.
I'm both.
I'm not sure what I am. I might be an person.
I didn't know I was an person until I record these videos about these books, and when you do the CapCut and you do the captions, it puts on there, and it's every line, and I'm like, so I've learned to cut it out, but then I'm like, and then whatever. It's either or just me cut out. See? Now I'm gonna think about it every time I say it. Okay, so if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Oh man, I want to be 6'5".
Appearance?
I just want to be tall. I just want to be. I am so height envious. I'm just like, man, I wish I was like a 6'5".
That's the one thing you change about yourself. You would be.
It would either be something like that, or I would be thin the way that I was back in my 20s. Back when I took it for granted, and I didn't realize like how hard it was going to be to like be thin when I was older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just clothing wise, just because it's like the kind of clothes that I really like, are like, oh man, I'm just kind of too big. Because I got into the gym and I started working out really heavy a while ago, and I got like very muscled up and kind of like bulky, and that's just kind of how I stayed from then on out. But I stopped going to the gym so much, and my bulkiness is just more like dad bod now.
You know what? we earned it.
That's fine. That's all.
We've earned it. Yeah, I hear you.
I like snacks and stuff, and I like pizza.
I like my fruit roll-ups.
Yeah.
What do you consider your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement. Honestly, man, my greatest achievement is, being married for 22 years is up there.
Sure is.
Narrating, which is actually over 700 audiobooks now.
It's over 700?
Yeah, because this
year
I've already done 60 this year, and 600 was like last summer at some point, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I've interviewed several voice actors, and the 600, 700 is towards the top.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, what is your most treasured possession? Do you want me to guess what it is? I bet you've got a comic book from like 1983 that's Star Wars.
No.
No? Okay.
No. No, my treasured possession, one of my most treasured possessions is going to be a photograph, a Polaroid photograph, so it's the one and only, it's a one of a kind, and it's of my Uncle Tony. That's one of my treasures. I actually keep that inside of my computer, my gaming computer. I have a crazy computer that I built that has a whole bunch of decorations inside of it. So it's my Frankenstein. machine. And Frankenstein is like one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Of,
I just really listened to Frankenstein just this last year, and I didn't understand the story until this year.
I'm going to narrate that book because that book has been in the public domain forever, but I'm going to narrate a version of that. But a friend of mine, he's not a friend, he's an acquaintance. He's a narrator acquaintance, Scott Brick. I'm pretty sure he did a really cool I'm pretty sure I bought it, and I listened to about half of it during a flight, but it was a short flight, so I didn't get to have it like 4 hours. Like he did a really cool version of it.
Yeah. I think some other ones are doing it too. Like it.
Oh yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah, it's a great story. Okay, what do you value most in your friends?
What do I value most in my friends? That they're just there during the good times and also the bad times.
Yep.
You know, they're just there. There's lots of different ways to be a friend to someone. If you're only a friend when it's easy, then you're not a true friend. You know, you're an acquaintance, or you're a transactional friendship, and that's not a friendship.
Yep, agree. What is your greatest regret?
Greatest regret? I've been thinking about that. It's kind of changed recently. I regret not really putting forth the effort to have a much closer relationship with my father. Because we you know, he wasn't there when I was young, and then we disconnected for a long time, and then reconnected, but the reconnection was just it was kind of at a distance. It was at a bit of a distance, and I didn't really know how to close that distance, and unfortunately, he passed away recently, and I wasn't able to. So that's the regret before that would have probably. I don't really have any regrets.
That's a great way to live. And the thing about your dad, I mean, you'll learn with your kids what you know, like you'll learn from that. And so there'll be another situation where that's what I always say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Last question for now. What is your motto?
What's my motto?
What's your motto?
Oh, man. And you gotta live life, man. You gotta don't take anything for granted. You know, just live. You know, do stuff that scares you. That's why I do the public speaking stuff, because it frightens me so much that it lets you know that you're alive. You know, if you're scared of something, that means there's a reason. There's a reason why, and it's invigorating. So do stuff that scares you. Smile to a bunch of people. Just like be friendly to people. Complete strangers. Just do something friendly. You know, say hi to people. Sometimes it's awkward. Hi. Don't be weird about it.
No, that's a great life outlook. I agree with that.
And it's okay to be afraid of stuff too, man. I am afraid of I am so afraid of heights. Yet I've done some crazy stuff when I was a kid. That were all.
I think. As we get older, our fear of death increases. So, like, I used to go on roller coasters. Now I don't go on roller coasters anymore. So, like, the more I'm like, that's too close to death.
Out of me too. And I get all super dizzy now. That's the worst part of it now. So I don't do them as much, but I will still go on a roller coaster just to remind myself, like, you know, yeah.
Not me.
We're not that old. Not yet. We're getting there.
I'm very old. I'm a boomer. Okay, so the final question I have for this series, I think I'm going to ask to all my guests. If you wrote a letter to your younger self, what would it say, and what would the P.S. line be at the bottom?
Move to L.A. when you're 18 years old, which would have been 1994. Move to L.A., get like 5 jobs, work your butt off, figure out any way possible that you can live, and get into either a regular acting, on-screen acting, or get into voice acting. Because the 90s were like the golden years. It was, well, I wouldn't say it's easy to get in. It was not easy, but it was the golden years when a lot of people were just in the right place at the right time with the right skill level, and they just got lucky.
And what would the P.S. line at the bottom be?
Don't be scared. Just be you.
That's great.
Yeah, just be unapologetically you, and be honest. Just always be honest. Be truthful. And that's not about just like telling lies, but be honest with yourself too. You know.
So, I've only listened to 2 or 3 of your books, but you are a very talented voice actor, and you're like one of my top favorites now. But getting to know you through this, I mean, you might be one of my favorite people in this industry because you're good. Like that's what my friends would say when they met you. They're like, he's a great guy. He's funny. He makes you feel comfortable. You know, like he goes out of his way. So it's been very nice to get to know you through this.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been great to get to know you too. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate that.
Thank you for saying yes to someone who's an itty bitty little social media person. So I appreciate it.
Man. We're all itty bitty little people on this big crazy planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell your wife thank you for letting you put it on Do Not Disturb. Yep. And you have a wonderful.
I go give her a call now. Yeah.
Awesome.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone who came to support us in the chat. You know I can't read the chat and talk at the same time, so I appreciate it. And T and Sam and Abs and Kate and Leanne, thank you for all you do for me. So couldn't do it without you. All right. Bye, Aaron.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a good one.